to do a infinity scarf with a hidden zipper. So this will be a one of 2 point video. I'll see if I can try to fit it all in one. So initially it's just better if I just do a tutorial. Sorry, I'm looking a mess. you know, check out my other video when I was looking all dolled up. So I told you majority of the time I'm a mom, so my hair is just put up in a messy bun curly. Anywho, moving on. So in order to make this, I'm just going to move my table a little bit further. You're going to need 18, this is essentially about 2 yards of fabric. So I don't have it folded right now, but you will need your infinity scarf to be 18 by 70 inches. Mine's measure, of course, wider than that, but we're going to cut it to 18. But essentially, you know, my fabric is about like 62, 64. But that's fine, as long as you can kind of wrap it around twice and it's stretchy, you know, you should be fine. If you're doing non-stretch, I would suggest it be 70 inches. So, getting started, what you're going to do is take your fabric and you're just going to fold it hot dog style. And you're just going to make sure that it's all nice and even. And just before I get started, some materials that you will need, you will definitely need is, of course, your fabric. You will need a seam ripper. If you know you make mistakes, you need to be able to unstitch what you just did. You will need an invisible zipper or a regular zipper. Just depends on how you know, whichever one's easier. And you will also need your scissors, and of course your sewing machine, and everything like that. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get my scissors and your measuring tape. Alright, we're at 18. So we're just going to go ahead and do the rest of the fabric, make sure it's even. So now what we're going to do is get our fabric, and you're actually going to turn it inside out so that the right sides are facing on the inside of each other. I'm getting my zipper. So this is the zipper here. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little different because I don't have a shorter zipper. So I'm going to do something where I'm going to use a wood burner tool to cut, shorten the zipper, and basically melt that, you know, some of the plastic so it acts as a stopper. Yeah, so that's essentially what I'm going to do, because all that you're going to do now is when you turn the fabric right sides together, you're literally going to sew, because the edges over here are open. So what you're going to do is attach your zipper. Let's act like I cut this already. And however wide that you want the opening to be. So I probably will do my opening for the zipper about most likely 8 inches. So I will most likely do my zipper about 8 inches. And you're literally going to sew, you're going to leave the edges open, and you're going to stitch close the edges. Essentially, you will cut this edge open as well and sew it, so you'll have 2 pieces. So I did want to mention that, but it's a very, like I said, it's a very, very easy project. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then be right back. So what we're going to do is, like you said, we're going to attach our, this is an invisible zipper. So we'll attach the invisible zipper here. We'll stitch all of this closed. The fabric will be right sides together. Stitch around that edge here. And then, since it's inside out, we'll be actually sewing the tubes together. So I'll do that and be back. So what we have now is our wood burner tool. I have a cell phone right here only because this thing by itself, it flips back. You see that kind of flip back that quick, so I needed to add a weight. This thing is very dangerous. So you definitely want to make sure it gets extremely hot, like I think 400 degrees Celsius or something. I don't know, however hot it gets, really, really hot, you know. So anyway, you're going to have your measuring tape. You're going to, again, this is an invisible zipper. And I'm going to make it, most likely, I'm going to make mine about 10 inches because I know, you know, I'm going to make mine 10 inches. So I'm literally, you know, you want to make sure that you cut cut right there where that crease is. Okay, and what I'm going to do is use this to melt the teeth. It gets, like I said, it's just going to just, I'm going to just sear it. You see that? So we're just going to sear it on close. And I like to create like an actual little, I would actually burn it, so the whole thing is plastic. Go over there. Oh, okay. So we'll try again. Just be very careful. I'll go ahead and cut this edge. We'll start over. And I want to just sear right over top. Try not to touch the edges. And I want to kind of create like an indent. There we go. And what I also do is kind of sear the edges of that, of the actual zipper, because it's like woven in a sense, acrylic or wherever, but it'll just, it won't allow it to like come apart. So I kind of like just seal the whole thing. Boom, that's done. That's done. I cut it off. It's a little switch. Boom, that's cut off. Just make sure I put a weight or something on it so it does not go anywhere. All right, so that's done. The edges, boom. Extra zipper. Make sure that stopper doesn't go anywhere.
Mommy.
You have officially shortened your zipper. Now what I'm getting ready to do, so I'm putting my zipper aside. I'm taking my fabric. I'm facing the fabric right sides together.
Mommy.
Yes, Ruth.
Put them.
Oh, I see.
Mommy, put them there.
Those of you who have little children. You want to make sure. Come over here, baby. No, no. The actual invisible part is actually, I would just take the time to just kind of, you know, just to kind of pin everything. Just to keep everything together. It just makes it easy. The way I put my pins in, instead of putting in horizontal, it's easier to put them vertical. The needle's facing you, because as you sew, you can just pull them out. It makes it very easy. So I'm going to go ahead, fast forward the video, and do that. And you're going to do that to all four sides. Oh, you don't. You want to leave this open. Again, leave it open. Do not pin that closed, because you'll need it open for a reason.
And remember, at the other edge, I ended up leaving an opening for the zipper. So, most likely, I will have to fiddle and figure out how I'm going to put it in, because a lot of times when I do my invisible zippers, I put it on the right side. Invisible zippers, don't be intimidated by zippers. Invisible zippers, some people learn invisible zippers first, so they put in a regular zipper. But I find that if you have an invisible zipper foot to do the hidden zipper, it helps out tremendously. So you'll see on my brother's sewing machine. I'm not going to use my old school one because, you know, I'm still getting used to it, so I don't feel totally comfortable with it. So I'm going to go with my old reliable sewing machine. What I'm just going to do is take that out and just kind of, I know it's even, so I'm just going to stretch it to make sure that it fits.
But anywho, in other words, you don't want to have no puckers, so the fabric might be slightly uneven. You want to make sure it's even. Okay. So everything's all pinned together. We're going to go back to this side. And you're going to sew each edge, leaving the edges open. So I left an opening for my invisible zipper, which is right here. So what I'm going to end up having to do is when I sew it, I have to turn it right sides together, and then I have to initially put the zipper in. so that way it's kind of facing the opposite of each other. So you'll see me do that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and actually serge. So I'll be right back. I thought it was recording and I wasn't recording. So anywho, what I ended up doing is taking it to my serger, and I ended up serging from the point where my zipper is going to be down. So I'm going to do the same thing to the opposite side. Again, leaving the edges open. And you can even line this if you want. Like when I say line it, you would just do two things. You would cut another thing of fabric and, put it on the outside of it. But that's a whole nother tutorial. But it's not that much different. It's a quick, simple, easy project. This part serging, it's like driving. Kind of hold your fabric tautly. You don't want to like stretch it all the way. You just want to just hold it.
There's markings on the edge of this right here that you just want to kind of make sure that you line up the edge of the fabric. So, I'm holding at 1/4 of an inch right now. I repeat, do not cut over your needle, your pen. So you'll break a needle and then you gotta rethread your serger all over again, which is a pain. Not hard, but it's just annoying. So if y'all wondering, I have a butter 1034D.
So now we have our scarf almost done. So it's literally serged on the edges that you see black. So we're going to go ahead and turn this right side out. And now we're left with like a long tube. If you want, you can top stitch this edge here. So, if you want a crisper, you can do that, but just for the sake of the tutorial, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to make this quick project. All in all, even though this tutorial looks long, it would, if I wasn't recording, it'd probably take me like 15, 20, maybe I'll just say 30 minutes to complete this. It is considered a quick project. This is an invisible zipper. So the way that I insert my invisible zippers, I'm going to find my edge. Zoom in on this, but we'll try my best. So I have my edge here, okay? What you're going to initially do with an invisible zipper, it's going to be very hard to see just simply because, but I'm just going to try to talk you through it. You have on your what you're going to do is take the back side of your zipper, meaning the invisible side. That's actually like the front because that's what's going to be facing. You're actually going to take that and turn it. So the left side goes on the left side. You're going to take that, flip it. So that way the back of the zipper, the teeth, is facing you. So I just wanted to show you that. Still going to do the same thing. You're going to take this and flip it and pin all the way down. So essentially, that back side will end up flipping. If you was to turn it, you won't see the teeth. You're going to take it, flip it, pin the zipper on down. Again, you take that zipper, you make sure that the teeth is facing you, you're taking it and you're flipping the left side to the back. So essentially, the teeth is facing you, and this is the easy side to always do. So you're taking that, pinning it all the way down. Taking the other side, flipping it, so the teeth is facing you on that side. So teeth on this side, teeth on that side, like the opposite. So then what I ended up doing, this is an edit. I just thought that when I have to connect it, these have to be essentially kind of free for me to sew. So I did not want to put it on the edge. I wanted to actually put it down a little lower so I can stitch this closed. And then we have our zipper that's inserted here. So now I'm about to go ahead and use my sewing machine. You don't have to have an invisible zipper foot. You can just carefully stitch behind the teeth, and I'm going to show you that at the actual sewing machine. So what you're going to do is you're going to fix your tension and all that good stuff. It is stretchy fabric, so I'm actually going to do it closer to 4. 0 being tight, 5 being longer stitches, and the bottom part is more so to adjust the is going to, what am I going to stitch with it? Okay, it's going to adjust the, what am I trying to say? The stretch, if you will. So, but if you're doing a zigzag, it makes it very stretchy, but just for zigzag, it just moves the needle. So, in actuality, you have a top and a bottom bobbin. So, I have black in here. I just don't feel like changing it, but because my fabric is black and pink, it just kind of works with it. So now I'm just kind of threading my machine. I didn't want to go really into threading, but pretty much you got your bobbin. You're following your description. Mine goes kind of up, down. I don't know if you can really see it. It goes up, and there's like a little foot that's right here that moves up and down, and you want to go down. I have an automatic needle threader, so you're just going to take your thread, hook it onto that. There's like a little hook here, a little ledge here, and you want to make sure that your needle is in all the way up position. I'm so used to I've been using the other machines, so it feels a little different. But you're just going to take that and it pulls it through. Easy as that. No more struggling when you have these modernized machines. So I'm just going to take my thread, push it like that, and bam, I'm ready to sew. So now what I'm going to ready to do is stitch in the ditch. That's another term. Again, this video is going to be edited. Because of course, you know, we make some learning adjustments. So again, I have this edge of it open. The stitch in the ditch portion, the teeth on the invisible zipper actually move back. It actually is like the little flap there. So you're going to stitch right against that little flap, and that's called stitch in the ditch. So that's what we're going to do when you're inserting an invisible zipper. Do not let the invisible zipper intimidate you. Watch a couple of tutorials to try to, you know, get your best method. But, I mean, you know, this pretty much works for me. So we're going to go ahead, and normally I have an invisible zipper foot. And the reason why that makes it easier, I think I actually might get that because the teeth. So I'm actually going to get my invisible zipper foot. Sewing machine comes with a regular zipper foot, which I could use. But I have something called an actual invisible zipper foot that I ordered off Amazon. The reason why this is very useful, because it lines up right against the zipper, and it just makes it so much easier. So I'm going to go ahead, pop that off, pop this in. You want to make sure that, like, this machine is a brother. Majority brother machines are low shank. So you want to make sure you move that needle so it's, you know, so I'm just pulling my thread in between the two of those just to make it easy. Sewing machine comes with a regular zipper foot, which I could use, but I have something called an actual invisible zipper foot that I ordered off Amazon. The reason why this is very useful, because it lines up right against the zipper, and it just makes it so much easier. So I'm going to go ahead, pop that off, pop this in. You want to make sure that, like, this machine is a brother. Majority brother machines are low shank. So you want to make sure you move that needle so it's, you know, so I'm just pulling my thread in between the two of those just to make it easy. Now we're going to go ahead and stitch in the ditch. Hopefully my iPad does not die. We'll just knock this out all in one swoop, and you can see everything be done. And this is why I like my sewing machine table, because sitting here at a high place is not enough room. I don't know. Okay, so there's like little grooves you can't see because my hand is in the way, but in here there's little grooves, and I'm literally just going to kind of line it up so that the teeth is in the groove, and I'm going to move my needle to where I feel that it is comfortable. Again, use matching thread. This is just for me. So you're going to start sewing, and you're going to back stitch, okay, and then now we're going to sew. And I just take my time. I don't want to rush because mistakes happen when you rush. And I'm just going to kind of slowly hold it in. And you see the invisible zipper foot? It literally, you can't really see, but if I can get a little closer. There we go. You can kind of see that. Y'all see that? So you want to make sure that it literally, you kind of flip those teeth back and that you don't stitch on the teeth. You don't want to do that. And it's not sewing on the zipper, it's literally stitching like just behind it, hence the name invisible. So you'll see why. And you're just going to stitch till you can't stitch anymore. Get to the stopper, go back, forward a few times, lock that stitch in, boom. That's the first side complete. And you can't see it, but when you pull the teeth behind, boom, you see it. Now we're going to go to our other side. This side can be a little tricky because you're sewing on the opposite side. But same concept, you're just bringing the fabric on the inside of your machine. And again, you just want to adjust it. Back stitch. Okay. Pull that needle out the way. And we're going to kind of hold that tautly. Okay, so sometimes with these machines, sometimes it moves, sometimes it gets stuck, but you want to kind of adjust it and move it. No, why is it going zip? Oh no! I don't know why I was doing zigzag. We don't want no zigzag. We're going to move that back over. That's why you want to pay attention to what you're doing. You want to go a little closer so it's stitching in the ditch. And as you're looking, you can literally see that it's stitching in the ditch with the opening. So what we're going to do is test our zipper. Hidden. You see that? Congratulations, you have done an invisible zipper. So now what we're going to do is, you see how I left that part of it open? Because we have an opening there. Turn it inside out. That little part that's there, that opening, you want to stitch a little bit behind it and go ahead and join it to where the serged edge. That's how you close up your zipper. So we're going to switch our feet to our regular zipper foot. Regular sewing foot. I generally stick my threads in between that. I'm so excited because we're pretty much almost done. Hopefully my iPad doesn't die. It'll want to stay with me. And I still have it, so boom. So you could do a zigzag, but back tack, boom. And this is the edge of that here is so that you can cut your threads off and everything. So your serger is basically and this is the edge of that here is so that you can cut your threads off and everything. So your serger is basically your sewing machine's best friend. it is extremely helpful to have a serger. I love it. I love my serger. They run about $300, but again, there are ways to get one, financed, or if you have the cash, just go ahead and get it if you really want to become a serious sewer. So next, we have our invisible zipper that is installed. Okay. Again, mine isn't perfect, but it's there. You can't see it. So now you're going to take your edges, because I'm already here. We got an open edge here, open edge there. It's right sides together. So initially, I'm going to go ahead and use my serger just to close that bad boy out. And you're just going to sew from edge to edge. Again, you do want to use your pins. So you would take your time and just pin it. I'm just going to do a starting and an ending, because essentially that's where. Okay. So anyway. All right. So you're basically going to sew until you can't sew anymore. That's pretty much what it is. And then you'll kind of see where you kind of got to stop. And then you'll just, start again. So I have some uneven edges, but the serger's going to straighten that on out. So I'm not too worried about that. So we're going to go ahead. Dropping stuff. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and sew. Holding your two edges together. And you're just kind of turning the fabric right sides together. Kind of rolls together, but you just want to make sure you kind of get it as even as possible.
You keep sewing till you can't sew anymore, so it's kind of like, you're flipping this thing. So I'm actually kind of have to flip it a little bit so I can really get it. Yeah. So yeah. I just kind of flip it on the inside so I can just kind of stitch it closed.
And now we've actually kind of started where we ended. We started over here, now I'm getting to that part. I left a small opening so that I can be able to get to, I could be able to turn it inside out. I mean, I have a zipper, so technically I could just turn it inside out from that way. I could do that. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and just stitch it closed because we got our zipper. Well, no, well, yeah. Yeah, so anyway.
I'm also going to add that this doubles as a shawl. You know what I mean? So it's large enough to where, if you're cold or something, you can wear it as a shawl. So, I mean, you could get, I don't know. Just trying to think, I don't know, maybe if you breastfeed or something, feed your baby, breastfeed your baby, a little cover. Just trying to just think, so aside from your regular, scarf, you can use it as a shawl, as long as you do the 18 by 70 inches, if you're a little freezing cold or whatever, Boom. You know, breastfeeding mamas. Psh, boom. You know, feed your baby. Nice little sling. Kind of covers your baby. You know what I mean? I wouldn't use it as a sling. Don't do that. But definitely, you know, just as a nice cover. Makes really good gift.